What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're currently at Diamond 1, very close to Masters, and I was just minding my business when all of a sudden I looked down and noticed that one of the players has 10 million mastery points on brand. I have never seen any mastery points over double digits. The first thing I do as we enter game is look up and see if he is the rank 1 brand, and it turns out he is. And guess what? He is not playing it in the sport. He's playing top, so I'm super excited to see this. And as I'm sure you've noticed, we're not playing Scion, we are playing Bard, because picking Scion into brand is an absolute nightmare, and I'm not going to be doing that today. So here we are playing the Bard. We're running around at level 1 because we've seen some exchanges in that middle lane, and I'm thinking I could use my mobility to come by and poke him. We'll proc the electrocute, probably damage him and force him to go back to base, and then LeBlanc comes in and I pick up first blood. Pretty good start to this game, and we just walk on right back to that bot lane. Rank 1 Mastery brand takes a kill in the top lane, and I'm shaking in my boots. We've also got Viego coming in for a gank. He snuck into the bush. Pay attention to how instead of walking forward, I walk backwards to try and bait the Sivir forward. It turns out he was actually trying to bait us in because his jungler was in the brush waiting as well. This trade ends up being a 1-for-1, but it does greatly benefit our team because not only do we get to shove in that wave, they do a repeat gank on this bot lane, which our jungler is able to counter. So we get another kill plus another wave for our ADC, and this went on for such a long period of time that I've now respawned. I can see that he's going to push the wave in and reset, so I'm heading to the top lane to try and take advantage of this free period of time that I have, right? I see the wave is frozen, and I've been waiting here for Brand for quite some time now. The original plan of dealing some damage and legging it didn't work. As soon as we jumped through that portal and Brand follows us, we knew we were in for a rough time. But I wasn't actually upset with the death. We still have the top wave frozen, and that means our jungler can come and punish this Brand. What a complete disaster. I looked away assuming Brand was dead. No, turns out our jungler is the one who died. So we're in a very tricky situation now. We didn't end up helping the Renekton, and he's even further behind. So I'm trying to make some kind of pressure on the bot lane. We know that the jungler, he's on the top side, which opens up the opportunity for us to tower dive this Sivir. It ends up being a 1-for-1, still a big win though because he misses all of those minions. As we pick up that kill, Brand gets another one in the top lane. It's looking kind of dire, which only encourages me to play even more aggressive in the bot lane. Unfortunately for the Sivir, she gets picked off, which gives me a free roam to the top lane. What I've noticed is this top Brand, it has a lot of damage, but it default pushes the wave. Even though he is clearly putting down wards to try and protect himself from it, we can simply portal straight around them. And that's what I did here, straight through the wall, and we pick up a kill onto this Brand. And from here, things are just starting to turn in our favor. By 14 minutes, we were officially finished with the bot lane. We had won convincingly, and now we've rotated to the middle. It's almost 15, so we can get a team fight here and cleanly kill them. It's almost guaranteed that they will forfeit this game. I do kind of mess it up with my ult, not gonna lie, and that's probably the reason they didn't just flat out forfeit. I'm gonna skip through this game though, because at this point, there was no team fight. We had already won the game, and we were just picking them off. My strategy was to just follow this LeBlanc around and use her chains to get the free kills. We were getting pick after pick. This match went on for a couple more minutes, not too many. It went to 24 minutes, but considering how consistent the picks were and how many kills we got, I am shocked that they didn't surrender, not until we made it all the way to the Nexus. So we did end up beating the rank 1 mastery top brand player, which is pretty cool. I gave him the honor. If I wasn't roaming around, I'm sure he would have been a massive problem for our team. We gained 21 LP. We're now at Diamond 155, and we're heading into game number 2. We're playing Scion support into Mel, which is one of my most hated champions. So before we go any further into this match, I think it is best that we take a breather and go over the sponsor of this video, which is Boot.dev, a longtime partner of this channel. These guys are here to assist you in creating a successful career in programming. For them, it's quite simple. Their goal is to teach you programming, but to do it in a manner that will allow you to both learn and have fun at the same time. They focus on the back-end development of programming, and they've created their entire course using a very unique approach. Boot.dev is a programming RPG. There's experience to be earned, quests to be complete, levels and achievements, all on their global leaderboard if you want to get competitive. The founders are both hardcore gamers themselves, and they know what it takes to transition you from gaming into creating games of your own. If you're someone who enjoys learning with others, the Boot.dev Discord community is active, and there's always help if you ever get stuck on your coding challenges. Now, I know not everyone has the means to pay for a membership, so all their content is free to read and watch in guest mode. A paid membership unlocks interactivity and the game that comes with it. What that means is that there's no reason for you to not go and check it out. With Boot.dev, you're going to be learning the back-end development with Python and Go in a self-paced way that feels like a role-playing game. The platform is designed to get you writing a ton of code because they believe that getting your hands on the keyboard and shipping projects is the only real way to learn. If this sounds appealing to you, click the link in the description box and use my code Tilterella for 25% off your first payment to Boot.dev. That's 25% off your first month or your first year, depending on which route you choose. As I was saying, Mel is one of my most hated champions in this game, and I would generally permaban her, but now that I'm playing here in Korea, I can't let the rel go through because I'll be playing that every single game. Either way, I guess the reason I'm telling you this is so that you can understand my mentality going into this. Was not thrilled to be playing the Mel. The first exchange we take in the bot lane is very profitable. 2 kills for us and only 1 for them, but most importantly, they've used all their summoner spells. So on the first back, I pick up the Ruby Crystal and some boots, and I flank through the Tribush. The situation is pretty self-explanatory. They are pushing in this wave, and I see the Nidalee on the Scuttle Crab. That exchange was way messier than I was expecting. It went forever as well. We do get 2 kills for nothing, but because of the way the fight happened, I'm sure Caitlyn missed a lot of farm. So it wasn't a massive win for the bot lane in particular. It really helped our jungler more than anything. So we fast forwarded 2 minutes into the future, and now we're looking to take advantage of the fact that they have no wards in these brushes. We're in a situation where we just killed both of the enemy bot laners. We're all low HP and we want to get the wave and then reset. Getting this one here is slightly greedy, so what I decide to do is execute and use the passive to finish off the minions. There is the added bonus that if someone does come, I could potentially help them with our passive. Now we're sitting really pretty, so we fast forward well into the future. It's now 13 minutes. We've had an exchange and Caitlyn is very low. She's trying to recall on a ward. I am now trying to defend the Caitlyn. I have the option to run away here, but I decide to try and bait them into a fight. The bait itself was actually poorly timed. We're very fortunate our team was able to come through, clean up those kills, and escape without any harm other than myself. It's almost that magic minute now, 15, where potentially we could get them to surrender, and Nidalee has come back to the bot lane. She's found a liking to this lane because it continues to put out gold, and this time was no different. We're now 26 minutes into this game. I know we are jumping through them quite quickly, but the thing about Korea, it's not like OCE, where once you have a lead, teams throw it and then it becomes even and then it's a close match. Once you have a lead, it just snowballs and snowballs, usually resulting in a surrender or just a complete stomp. And in this case, another complete stomp. We gained 22 LP. And with that, I welcome you into game number 3, where I was playing one of my first games of Braum. Our ADC picked the Ashe. Everything was going absolutely swell. You may have noticed that we are actually 7 minutes into this game, and that's because if you look at the chat, Vayne is going off. And I mean really going off. Now look at the score. Every single lane is winning. Every single one. We were completely stomping them, but something happened where the enemy mid laner roamed to the top lane and the other guy didn't follow. He ended up getting a 30 farm lead from it, but that wasn't good enough for our top Vayne. He decided to run it down. Basically, he was just inting, running straight into the enemy team and then bringing out the forfeit, trying to force us to surrender. And of course, at 17 minutes we did, because no one wants to play around with someone who isn't trying to win. They'd rather move on to the next. And that's exactly what we did. Now we're on to game number 4. And I wish I could say that game number 4's quality was a bit higher than the last. That is definitely not the case. And it all came down to this top lane getting the first blood. Ambessa killed the Gwen multiple times. I assume this is what infuriated her to leave the lane and start running down the bot lane. She handed so many kills over to us that it was a very easy game. I mean, it is what it is, right? This is solo queue. Sometimes you get griefed, sometimes you get free wins from the griefers. It just is how the game goes. Unfortunately, in this case, we want to watch higher quality games, so I'm just skipping through. I don't want to waste our time on it. We lost one game to griefing, 1-1. It kind of cancels out, right? Now we are just one game away from reaching Masters in Korea once again, which is exactly where we left the series on the last trip. So now is when it really gets interesting to see just how high we can climb. And fingers crossed, from this point on, the game quality is a lot better. I can tell you this game you're about to watch is of higher quality, and it starts off with us swapping to first pick the Scion. I want to allow the enemy team to think that I just picked the top lane and they can counter it. They pick Olaf and the Nasus, and this allows our top laner to counter the enemy. Usually what would happen is the enemy team would give last pick to the top laner, so we would have a likely losing lane, but now we have Vayne top, and she's probably going to win into either of those matchups. Focusing back on this bot lane, it is Scion support up against the Syndra, and by the way that Caitlyn played this fight, you'd almost assume that she's running barrier, right? That's exactly what I assumed. I cannot believe that when I checked, she had cleanse. Now I'm in a position where it's 2v1 and I'm trying to get myself in a position where I can use my passive. So I traded 1 for 1, and even though my passive wasn't successful in getting the other kill, what it did is lower Jin's health and also just delayed. Our ADC is now in lane, the Jin is trying to reset, and the Caitlyn cancels his recall. Now I've arrived back in lane, and I'm not about to let Jin just get an easy reset. So what I'm doing, using the Hex Flash and delaying it at the very last second, I just want to make sure Jin doesn't go back. He's not farming, he's not an experience range. If we can stall this back out long enough, we are going to make way more gold, have a big experience advantage. It'll be almost like we won that trade. So sad. This almost went perfectly. If I had killed the Olaf with our passive, it would have been amazing. Nonetheless, it was still a great way for us to catch back up. And now at this point, I would say we have the lead, right? They have no summoner spells. I'm Scion with a Hex Flash, and I can just hide in the brushes and then utilize that Hex Flash to take profitable trades. Simply look at the differences in our health. We've already won this lane. It's just about getting picks now. I'm always trying my best to not be in lane whenever possible. So I rotate over to help the Lee Sin with the Drake, and I want to leave before that Drake dies because it'll say that I assisted and they know my position. So I preemptively leave that spot to head around the back and flank. So what you're watching is us having absolute control of this bot lane. The Varus then roamed down there to clean up. He got a kill, and then I went from spawn to try and gank the mid to get the gold back, and I accidentally gave him another kill. There's this build going around with Varus mid where they rush, I can't remember the name of the item, it's that one that just got buffed. They rush it, they become tanky, and they start split pushing with a hull breaker. It's very strong, and that was the first mistakes we made. Basically, we've given Varus multiple kills now. He's picked up 3 from this bot lane, and he's become a threat. Whereas if we had just not gone mid lane, it's likely he wouldn't have snowballed as quickly. But at the end of the day, that is what is happening here. He is snowballing off of the fact that I went to mid lane, and also just the fact that maybe we played slightly too aggressive. We had the lead, we didn't need to push it as hard. It's something that I'm gonna have to adapt the higher we go. We are now 22 minutes into this game, and up until this point, I would say we were in complete control, but it is never easy, of course. Lee Sin gets picked off right before we can set up for this Artican, and we have the Vayne split pushing, which pressures the enemy team to force this team fight. They're gonna try and make their move right now. I put down as much damage as I could, and unfortunately it just wasn't enough. So they do pick up the Artican, but we trade it for the top open inhibitor, which is an okay trade, although we have handed over a lot of gold and experience. So the game isn't exactly heavily in our favor anymore. We're also dealing with the issue of, even though we're getting picks, like in this example, we get the Syndra, we can't necessarily do anything with it because Vayne is consistently split pushing. So all we can do is really pressure the idea of us doing Baron and hopefully get a pick again. Things have taken a turn for the worse. Somehow we've lost a 4v5 fight. I'm starting to worry that we are getting outscaled. That is, of course, until this Caitlyn starts absolutely popping off. Once this team fight has ended, only Nasus is left standing, and given the fact that the fight was so extended and 3 of us had died super early on, we get to respawn first, which means we get a Baron completely for free. They can't even make it there in time, but they do end up showing up eventually and looking to take this fight. Admittedly, we didn't do much on that final team fight, but hey, I'm gonna take it. We are back in Masters and officially can start this climb from where we left off. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Y'all ain't on this level.